Hi, my name is D Boyson, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to episode 5 of the series Define, Dissect, Connect, and welcome to take 55 of this episode. Anyway, before we start the video, I would like to thank everyone who has been supportive, liking, sharing, and the regular subbies. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support, and we are en route to 100 subscribers. So keep it up. Thank you. So today's topic is deserving of delicacy, and we're going to be speaking on matters of self-forgiveness, self-love, self-parting kahle. I don't know what that means, but we'll get into it. So without wasting any time, let us jump right into the video. So, as per usual, we're going to be defining the word of the week, which is delicacy. But this week, it's going to be a bit different because I'm going to be using the synonyms of the words with, as opposed to the actual definition, solely because of the definition that I found. So I found the definition on Oxford Languages. They are our fighter. So it reads as follows: delicacy is the fineness or intricacy of texture or structure. Now, the synonyms of the word that I got out of it were elegance, grace, sensitivity, and gracefulness, only to mention a few. So, when I saw those words, I asked myself how often do we show ourselves the same grace that we show to other people? How hard are we on ourselves? And how does that usually impact us? Now, I'm going to speak on my experience with being hard on myself. It has really just led me to a messy, a messy road, because it now turned into some sort of a self-dislike where I would think that, oh my gosh, I mess up so much, and I don't like myself. It becomes very ugly when it's not dealt with properly, you know. And also, when we try to give it an antidote, it can get ugly as well, because then we start to slack, then we start to not do stuff that we know we're supposed to be doing in the name of being delicate with ourselves. So being hard on ourselves, I am implying to how often you beat yourself up. How do you speak to yourself? Are you nice to yourself? What are the words that you say to yourself when no one is listening? How do you view yourself? When you look at yourself in the mirror, or when you're just sitting alone, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as deserving of love? Do you see yourself as deserving of forgiveness? Do you see yourself as a horrible person? Do you see yourself as human? Because I think a lot of the times, the reason why we do not administer delicacy to ourselves is because we strip away our human qualities by expecting ourselves to be perfect. And by perfect, I use the definition that is of nothing that is without problems. You don't want to be the one to blame. And sometimes it comes from issues of self-identity. You want to be seen as someone who does not make mistakes. You want to be seen as someone who's very strong. That is also something we need to look at. Do you force yourself to be strong when you know you can't be strong? And sometimes strength is misdefined, because we define strength as not showing that you are going through struggle, when strength is actually standing while going through the struggle. But also, if you just want to sit down, you do not have to be strong. So those, I think, are the things that are very important for us to look at. Are you just nice to yourself? Because I've been told in therapy before that if I'm not nice to myself when I am the one who experiences myself 24/7, then I'm not doing any justice to myself. Because inside of myself is where I live. This, you cannot run away from here. This is where you are. So if here isn't nice, no other place is going to feel nice, at least. I don't want to say you're not going to be nice to other people, because I think that also is sometimes taken out of context, because then people say, ah, they're going through a lot. But guys, sometimes really going through a lot is no excuse for you to not be speaking to people kakuhle. But also, if that does happen and it is a mistake, you do have to take it up with the person that you offended in the moment. So yeah, a point that I want to bring up is that oftentimes when we are not very gentle with ourselves, I think that should have also been a synonym that, or a word that alludes to delicacy, that should have been used. But I think sometimes when we are not gentle with ourselves, we hinder our own growth, because when we do something um, wrong or we make a mistake, the first thing that we do is point fingers at ourselves. And the same way we do not learn from our mistakes when we point fingers towards others instead of taking accountability, is the same way that when you start shaming yourself and blaming yourself and just being like, ah, Vele, I expected this from myself. Vele, everything I touch just turns into dust. You know, all those bad things. We miss the opportunity to actually learn from our mistakes. It's very rare that you find yourself trying to fix the mistake because you're too focused on, you're too bad of a person to fix it. And also, I think that's when we should realize that we are ourselves. You are yourself. Yes, you have different sides to yourself, but when you start speaking all these things about yourself, just take a moment and realize that you are yourself. You can know yourself. You can be nicer to yourself. It takes time. It takes a whole lot of time. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it won't for you take that long. Maybe it won't take as long for you as it did for me. But if you're finding it difficult to just administer some grace to yourself, then just know that it's not easy, because learned behavior is not that easy to just let go of. Learned behavior is not something that you just easily break out of, because also it's, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, it's also how you see yourself. If that's how you've seen yourself for a long time, you won't see yourself differently in a matter of 24 hours. And also, seeing yourself differently also needs a lot of grace. Um, you can start over as many times. Gotta follow through. Consequences.
Consequences.
Another point that I want to come to is that when we are often not delicate with ourselves, we do not celebrate ourselves, because it all comes down to thinking that you are deserving or that you are not. So, oftentimes, when we succeed in something, we're like, congratulations, but move on. You don't sit down to just be like, ooh, I did great. Or, oh, I'm so proud of myself, because you're so hard on yourself. In your mind, it's always push time. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Military base all day long. No, guys. Sometimes you can just sit down and it can be sunshine and rainbows and, can be bunnies hopping on green grass, marshmallows, those type of things, so that when it is time to be a soldier, you are a strong soldier, you are ready for war. I think oftentimes also the reason why we can fail at something sometimes is because we did not give ourselves enough rest time. Lilimi, is because we did not give ourselves enough rest time. It's the same as going to the gym. Ngeke nje uqubule insimbi all day long, every day, Monday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, and not get any rest. I'm sure your body won't like that, and the next time you get into gym, you won't be as effective. But whereby if you take rest days, when you do go back, I was 10 times worse. So I think we should be very, very applauding of our of imizamo yethu. Another point that I wanted to add was what I have learned in discussion with a very close friend. So he said that um, we need to be gentle with ourselves when the world is being too harsh on us. And we also need to be a little bit harsh on ourselves when the tide has died down. Because I don't know if I've mentioned this also, but I think I've heard somewhere where someone says that we judge others based on their actions and we judge ourselves based on our intentions. So we kind of do tend to be too soft on ourselves sometimes. So that's also something that we need to be pale of. That's my favorite word now. But yes, that's also something that we need to be very aware of or try to find a balance with, you know? So know when to administer tough love, but also know when to administer to yourself gentle love. What I'm going to say also to just maybe sum up everything is that life doesn't have a manual. We go through it not knowing what to do and not knowing what to expect. So don't be expecting of yourself to have everything figured out. That's also a form of delicacy. Be so gentle with yourself to know that for as long as everything is fine here, everything else will follow. I don't know if I'm making sense. Right now, I'm just panicking because I'm running out of space. But also, it does bring me to the end of my notes. I didn't really have a lot of notes, but yeah. Thank you for watching thus far. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And catch me again next Wednesday. Same place, same series. So from me to you, so much love.